What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning. Let me get all set up here. Get all my stuff on. Get all my stuff on. Let's see. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Is it? I don't know where to pause at. I'll just call you 6920. Gurkendel 6920. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Cube Gift, as always, thank you so much for being here. Just give me a one if you guys can hear and see me. One in the chat if you could hear and see me. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right. We've been having a good couple weeks here. Thank you, Cube Gift. Appreciate you. Have been having a couple good weeks. Actually just got back late from my run, but looks like we had some news or something overnight. Was it Trump talking? Today's FOMC, which has been kind of like hit or miss. It's been for the last little bit, it's been either a lot or nothing. But we're gonna check this out right now. I think that's what this move was here, right? Is this news? Because I saw it across all of it. Here it is again. The Nazzy, everything dumped. So I assume there was some sort of tweet or something. The fact of the matter is, I don't really care what the news was. I do care about being in a trade when news happens, but as far as like tape bombs and tweets and things like that, you just gotta be ready for those. If you're positioned and sized accordingly, you'll be good to go. So not something that I'm terribly worried about. But we do need to react. I mean, there's a good chance we don't predict what we're going to see, but there's been a lot of the times where we retrace a lot of these moves, both to the upside and the downside. So Mike F, what's up? What's up? Guys, I actually just forgot my water bottle upstairs. Give me 30 seconds. I forgot my water bottle. He's back. He's heating up. Heating up. So I was saying we retrace a lot of this move. How everyone leaves when I go get my water bottle. Mike F. I see Mike F because I have a cousin Mike and we call him Mike F too. Mike Finn. Let's see what we got here. It's about 4 minutes till market opens here. We can pepper the books, and guys, if you've been here for a couple days, you know it's a big waiting game for me. So my hierarchy of trades is prior session high,
order submitted,
prior day POC,
order submitted,
and sometimes T-line. With this right here, we'll see what happens at the open. I am interested in maybe 2 trades here. If we see how it lines up with the Rankos, which guys, we have plenty of range on everything because of that news last night. So bands are in play for pretty much everything. This might be a situation where we moved it to the +2s, kind of right here in yesterday's this volume. But we have to watch out because with this volume, whatever you want to call it, trench hole, whatever it is, we can see a slide through that pretty quickly. So just be prepared to take a little bit of heat. This is a 172 up to 646. So that would be a fair amount of heat, which is why I might not be interested in entering at the trend line. But for now, with 3 minutes to go, that's kind of where we'll be. The same will look on the ES. I want prior day POC, and we have stacked prior session highs of days.
order submitted,
Definitely a spot that I want to trade. And then M2K looks exactly the same, but we know we want to stay out of those. And then just for viewing purposes, we do have a bunch of stuff stacked here on gold. right? A lot of rejection spots, resistance, resistance, resistance. So we could see if we were feeling a little bit frisky. And then upon popular requests, I've added the Nazzy to the chart. Not necessarily looking to trade the Nazzy, but if you wanted to, the same could be here. We have prior day POC, which could be a short, all the way up to this kind of zone up here where we might be wanting to sell off the Nazzy. But we can give it a second, see how the market is going to react to last night's news. Don't need to risk things. As far as yesterday is concerned, I did not trade again. I told you I wasn't going to trade anymore yesterday, and I didn't. So here's kind of what the month is looking like so far. Pretty good month so far. We got away with $57.70. That's copied across 6 accounts. So yeah, here's the red folder news, FOMC, today at 2 p.m., which could cause things to be a little bit flat and slow to start, but said I think we want a reaction to that overnight news. And then tomorrow, 10 a.m., existing home sales. Tomorrow, I might take off. My kids have like an event at camp. They're in track and field camp right now. And tomorrow's the Olympics. So might need to hop out tomorrow because I'm a family first kind of guy. And if my kids got the Olympics for track and field, we going. We going. We are going. 30 seconds. We have orders on these 2 markets, so we'll keep those open. We'll see what happens. Get ready for away we go. Oh, yeah, somebody used the Tradeify discount. Glad you got Tradeify discount. If you're here, let me know you're trading them. Somebody wanted to pass them with me. Currently up 581, so a little more than a third of the way there on the Tradeify. But, yeah, if you use the discount code, let me know. I'd like to know who's using it and who's playing along with Tradeify with me. And away we go. Not a lot of reaction off the open, that's for sure. Not a lot of reaction off the open. This one's a little too sleepy for me. Yeah, no movement really. Except for that Nazzy, will always get you done. If you want action, check out the Nazzy. There's only one person here. All right, if there's only one person here, we're going EDM. Nothing doing, nothing doing. Nazzy taking the whole move back. Party Pac in play. Might be interested in Pac. Take a Nazzy trade for you guys. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Let things slide a little bit. Nothing else doing. Yeah, wow. What a boring open, huh? Wow. News this afternoon really keeping things slow. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. No movement. Bunch of chop. No movement. Sleepy. All the movement was last night, huh? Oh, there goes small caps. Small caps are moving. Wow. A tough morning. You guys got anything going on? What are you guys trading? What are you looking at? Because I seen nothing. I feel like anything I'd enter now would be a force. I mean, this is the only thing really with any movement, the Nasdaq. Which I'm just watching Pac. It's a developing Pac, but with 647 points of range so far on an ATR of 715, 716. That's really the only thing that's interesting me right now. Yeah, just up and down. Back when I traded a 5-minute chart, this would have been brutal. We need to get above this, below this. No direction, just bar coding right now. Up and down. Very rarely do you see the bands get smaller than they were. Right? They expanded out to that, and now they're contracting back, getting smaller after overnight news. Looks like an overnight session right now. Smell sucks. It's definitely spots I want to take trades. David, thank you. Appreciate that. Get everyone in line. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Do we mess around with the NASDAQ? Famous last words? Pock short? Take $50 of risk?
Order submitted.
Very, very tight stop on the NASDAQ. Maybe like, $50 or so. We'll only take $50 a heat. At POC there. Yeah, I know. Oh boy. Could be famous. I still have time to change my mind. But I was actually talking with somebody yesterday about how I used to trade and I don't want to get back into it because kind of on the point that I was making, somebody saw the replay and they're like, you know, getting used to it and finding those entry points, the only way to do it is to practice it and manage risk. So it's not so much that there's elasticity and that I'm not good enough to get in. I just have to be way better at managing my risk. Because I guess every instrument, when you first start, you enter and you're a little jittery and you have your finger on the close button, and then over time things start to calm down a little bit and you get a little bit more used to it. That's kind of where I want to be with all my instruments. And as I mentioned yesterday, it's not that the NASDAQ is bad per se. It's more that it just moves, right? It looks like we might have missed it. All right, at least you saw I tried. It was there. I was willing to give it a go. All the little pullbacks are getting bought up, though. Got a bunch of these measured moves. If we were in, this is pretty much all I'd be looking for. How many points is that? 85. Yeah, 20 points. Nothing crazy. $2 a point over here on the micro NASDAQ. Plug me in, my computer says. Fine. Oh boy. Love that.
Order
We can
canceled.
come back and reevaluate that. I just want to see what else is going on. Yeah, jeez, the waste. Which maybe this just makes this look bigger. Like this is still a pretty nice move, I guess. Pretty much 800 down to 600. This is still a 200 point candle. So this just makes everything look small, I guess. Right, we're on 746 range. We're well over ATR. We're not out of it yet. It's still right here. I'm watching it. I'm watching it. You want me to? I'll keep it resting.
Order submitted.
We'll take it together. We'll rest it at 402. But like I said, really tight. This is a little disheartening. You know, couldn't break through the support here, which is prior POC, right? Which essentially would be target on that short. I mean, I guess the other position would be you could go long there. Right, prior POC is a long, but we've already tested prior POC a few times, so throughout the day it definitely becomes less interesting to me.
Order filled.
All right, let's try a NASDAQ trade. See what happens. Oh, see how fast it moves? I feel like I looked down and we were up $20 and then boom, right back. Yeah, it's probably for the best. I'll probably regret it.
Order submitted.
Oops, missed it again. Yeah, this is crazy for me.
Order submit. Order filled.
I gotta get out of that, guys. That's too much for me. It's gonna go, but it's too much for me. I hate that feeling the whole entire time of just being like, that's not. That was a forced trade. We tried it out. It didn't work out. If you can sit through this, oh my gosh. I just can't do it. We got out for $2, I think. $2. Yeah, I don't like how that makes me feel. The fact that it can make a $30 swing in the time you want to put a stop loss, that's nuts. And I used to trade minis like that on a 50K account and think that I was going to pass. Oh my golly. Yeah, like, look, it's just nuts. It was fun. I'm awake now. Awake now on my $30 worth of heat. What did it get up? I think it got up right there. Oh my gosh, here it goes. Yeah, this guy's no way I would have been in this trade this long. Well, there it goes. We were right. Ish. But I guess it's a good example of like, yeah, if your heart's racing in a micro contract, I don't even want to watch anymore. Oh gosh, there it goes. Where do we get out? We got out at 370. Another 60-point dump. I mean, it's reassuring to know that the idea was right, you know? And this is exactly what I was talking about yesterday. I was talking about how the problem with the Naz for me is how the levels have a plus or minus elasticity. It's always a touch and then a stretch. It's always a touch every time. It's never like when we see certain things happen in the Dow. Well, maybe that's a bad example, but like right here, I just feel like this heat is not nearly as much. Like this was $30 worth of heat almost instantly. Was it still a level and did it still reject? Sure did. Right? But I can't take that. It's just too much for me. But when you can, like this is getting you done right now. Yeah. Cube gift. That's it. Says, let me bring this in. So if anybody rewatching the stream, my concern is that the NQ could drain my emotional capital by the time I start trading the Y. Yeah, because that, it's something that, yeah, I always thought about, but we only think about like the tilt on the one side, like maybe revenge trading and things like that. But yeah, it came right back. So we go from $120 that quick, which I guess is why the influencers, they do minis with that. And that would have been 1,000-point move. Good for you guys. But yeah, you have to save some emotional capital. I just used a bunch of points. In cycling, we call it burning matches. Like just being in that trade just burns emotional matches. Now I can definitely trade the bands here. If you're long here, which I might be interested in, you got to be ready to go again at high day, which would probably be -2s.
Order submitted.
So I'm ready to start trading the Dow a little bit. But we're just chopping right around view up. We're not getting any of that motion. Look at that candle. 7 minutes left in this candle. Same. Like, could this be more hugging view out? And it lines right with POC. Everything's like, we're just going to stay right here. And guys, by the way, gold moves just like the NASDAQ for me. Like just way too fast for me to even operate. Still good. I guess I could flex on myself and be like, I had a green NASDAQ trade today. Green NASDAQ trade. Look at this thing. $2. $2. And that was pretty much a break even stop. So like if I was doing a mini, that break even would have been like still a 10 point. Like that's, oh God, it's fucking crazy, man. How much was it? 74 to 69. Yeah, 5 points. But let's go back to our friend here now. Let's go down. Let's get to Phil here now. Gert, did you get in it? You didn't get a fill, it says? Oh, man. Well, it looks like you might be able to get it again. 5 minutes left on this candle. 5 minutes left on this little shakeout. Nice little doji, up, down, but it's not the up, down from the bands that we want yet. Nothing doing. Just checking out the volume profiles. Right down here. Kind of aligns with the -1s. Man, I really like the value area low here, but just not getting the movement we want. Wow. You up? QQQ. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Were you here for my amazing NASDAQ trade? Yep. They're there. This one's not really on the line. I'm more of a trade and place on the 30-minute chart and then see if it's by the lines. We got a little bit of line, a little bit of not so line. These probably aren't on the lines. Oh, it is. Look at that. Prior POC is right at the +2s. Love when that happens. That's just a little bit of added confidence. That's all we have resting right now. After we rested here, got our heart rate up. Oh, VPOC shift. But we were in there. Then we got the heart rate up to 180. I got out for $2. Put them on the lines and wait. Doesn't make for good TV, but makes for lots of green days. Lots of green days. Oh, can't do this one. Come on down, Dow. Come on down and fill me. I love longs. Oh gosh, I can't wait for this candle to be over. Let's get a heavy close and keep going. Yes, looking for a strong close. Small caps looking for strong. Gold just getting sold off every time it comes up. And the NASDAQ, as always, just pump it. We would have been cooked. Come on down and out. New candle. Welcome to 10 o'clock. Definitely not going to tell a lie here. We have another candle like we just had. It's going to be a 10:30. Get the heck out of here for me today. Got 18 miles on the schedule. Got to go run for a bunch of hours. Got to start a little early. Yesterday was cool, but still the heat of the day. This is gross. Definitely starting to feel that, like, I would love to force a trade, or you start looking for things like, oh, that's a trade. Oh, that's a level. Start doing that shit. No bueno. I mean, especially for the people I've been in here the last couple days, even last week. We've been done by 9:30. Like, everything's been quick right off the open. So the power of knowing when to sit on your hands is the test today so far. It might be one of those things where we'll watch till 10:30, and then maybe we come back at FOMC. Double stream today. Let's see. Has anybody else found anything today? Oh, we're all just watching. Joy of watching. Yeah, I mean, we hate it, but we know that's we know we should be watching. We know it. I mean, that is the value of a live stream. Even if there's 8 to 10 people, like, we got to hold each other accountable here. I can't preach all the things I preach and then be forcing trades. which if I was in my office and not in front of the camera, I mean, in all reality, that NASDAQ trade was kind of me forcing a trade and going against all my beliefs and value systems, and I got out alive. So we'll see. As long as you guys are telling me it's not me. Yeah, I'm not just being a wimp. There's just not a lot out here today. See, those aren't small moves. This made everything just look big. I have a question on your MYM buy. Would you be concerned that the -1 lines with the low volume node, it could run that through? So what he's mentioning is, let me just make this a little bit bigger. Because yes, I have thought that. So we're looking at, if we look at the node for today, it's pretty much an arrow, right? And price tends to move through those nodes. So if we look at, say, for instance, yesterday, we have a little bit of movement here. These are kind of distributed kind of nicely, but they kind of slide through. And I mentioned that, I think, earlier with maybe the NASDAQ, or like right here. Like if we break value area high, there's a good chance we're going to, because there's no volume here, right? So no orders were conducted there. So what the question is asking is, am I concerned with it wanting this node here? And if price discovery comes down to the -1 here, right where hasn't been a ton of volume conducted, if price is going to want to discover itself back to value area low? The answer to the question is yes. I'm fully aware of that, and I'm ready to take heat on that. Now, here's why. We talked a lot yesterday about like the hierarchies of my trades and what I want to do. Below that, there's no buys for me, really. Okay? So the way I see it is I don't need to hold off on any sort of, like, I can't put a trade in and I'm not worried like I got to be able to take heat all the way down to my next ad. There is no next ad for me. So by knowing and acknowledging this -1, my next ad would be -2, which will be somewhere in the middle of that. If you were a little bit more conservative or a little bit new, and maybe this is a new instrument, moving this to value area low and having that be your first entry, absolutely 100% acceptable. Another reason why I feel okay keeping it here is the amount of range that we have on the day. So that's something that I'm always taking into consideration as well. And I'll move it right next to it. So right now, the 7-day ATR is 582. So we've already put in over 1 ATR. We are over 100% ATR, which means the likelihood, right? This is all just statistics. It's not going to happen, not going to happen. The likelihood of getting down to -2s right now at this point and extending the range even further. Now, if -2 didn't extend the range, that'd be one thing. But by -2s being even an extension of over 100% ATR, there's a very, very low likelihood, and we see it in the bands actually contracting, right? Usually they expand throughout the day. We see them now contracting. So the likelihood of getting to those -2s way down here is slim. Could it happen? Absolutely. These are statistic-based models and a framework that is statistic-based. So by me taking the -1, I'm essentially thinking to myself, the likelihood of even getting down to value area low, super, super low. And if it does, I'm going to take that $30 worth of heat from 74 to 40. I'm going to take that $30 of heat and be okay with it. And if we get down to -2s and I have to enter again, and then we keep running, it's just going to be, I'm going to lose $150 on this trade, and that's going to be that. That's the whole mindset of the trade. it's either going to come down to -2 and fill me and go the right way, or I'm going to take half of my DRB, which is about $150, and I'm going to say, I lost this trade. It's going to continue to the downside and melt all day, and I'll take a red day for $150. The same holds true, and maybe we can look at it a little differently to the upside. I have a hierarchy of trades at prior POC and prior session high.
Order
right?
submitted.
These are trades that I love. Now, because they're so close, right, I have a couple different options. I can think about the trend line, and I can move this to the trend line, and then maybe this one to +2s. And that order was up there because it was +2 a while ago when we first opened. All right, so that was the +2. Maybe you don't want 2 up here in this zone. Or maybe you want to be a little bit more aggressive now that we have such a big range and say, I'll get in here and here. Right? Which is Monday's low of day. Right? These are low of day, not prior session high day. I apologize. So that's kind of like the fluency of being in the situation and knowing what's an acceptable take and what's not. Because I know plenty of people that are like, okay, well, we have the -1s here and I'm a 30-minute trader. So I might move this to value area high and then say, okay, I will take heat all the way up to +2. Which will make, to be on, and value area highs and lows, very, very low priority takes for me. Like those are not always trades. Like prior session high, low, and prior POC are always trades for me. These other things that are happening that are nuanced within the trading intraday, you know, got to understand, like, this isn't a very, very high statistic. Right? It's still statistical high, but nothing crazy. I'd probably use this more as target. I do feel much more comfortable coming up here where the trend line tends to be a little bit more balanced when we get down there. Not always to the tick, but, I mean, that was a trade from last week. That was great. If you have follow-ups on that, please do not hesitate to ask. And we'll see. Hopefully we can get one here. And then we can actually play off of it and see what happens. Yeah, too cautious is definitely an issue for me. And I found myself being too cautious with, like, set the order on the line. Where, this is going to sound really nerdy, but I'm a physics teacher, so I'm super into, like, science and stuff like that. And I think about the atom and the probability of an electron and how we used to believe that electrons followed a fixed path around the nucleus and there was no deviation from that, where we know now they kind of hang out in this unpredictable range away from the nucleus. So every time I think about that, and that's the elasticity I was talking about on the NQ, for every price entry, there's a plus or minus of error that we might be. And if we look at yesterday's trade, I believe that even came into play, or maybe it was 2 days ago, where you will see me enter in, maybe it was 2 days ago. You'll see me enter in a price maybe just above or below the target, because as I don't want to be a dick for a tick on the plus side, on the entry side, I don't want to be a dick for a tick the other way as well. That was kind of there. So yeah, I found myself being very, very cautious as well. What is this way up here? Oh, prior session high. I found myself being a dick for a tick, both on exits and entries. So now if we're close, all of my entry lines are, and the further away, like my range for getting in for +2 is higher than my range for wanting to get in. really this is kind of fixed. Like I won't pull this up even to here. Even with all of these different supports we've had, like I know a ton of people that love this. People that have way more guts than me, like all of this is support. So right now, this might be a buy for them, and they want to take heat down here. For me, that's right now, at this time, that's not a trade I want to take. But if you look, is it a bad one? No, I mean, it's held there since 7:45 this morning. I'm more thinking if it slips through there, I'm okay. Sitting on my hands. I don't need to do this for the action Jackson of it. Like, I'm good to go. Which is why, like, I'll take this off and I'll be good to go. Too cautious is definitely a thing. And I think too cautious is better than too aggressive. That's just my opinion. As a coach, too, like, trains a bunch of athletes, I always tell them I would rather you be undertrained than overtrained. I'd rather you go into a race thinking, man, I didn't do enough. I was too cautious. I took too many rest days. I slept a little bit too much, as opposed to going in all beat up because you got certain mileage or distance. Same in trading. I would much rather people be FOMO'd and be like, I wish I would have taken that trade and it was good, than I entered a bad trade and it went against me, and that keeps happening all the time. Same, I used to have a CrossFit gym. First workout, my goal was for people to leave and say that wasn't that hard, because then they were going to come back. As opposed to if I crush them, they were never going to come back. So cautious isn't a bad thing. I mean, that's our default system as human beings. We're here to protect ourselves. So fight or flight is. And I just said I don't want to drag it into price. And I don't want to, but that might be my little bit of force.
Order filled.
We're in. Just said I won't drag it, but I'm gonna. Now, hopefully, it will never go down and hit +1, and I'll look like a genius, and we'll come all the way back up here.
Order submitted.
But now we can see if we're going to have that slide that we talked about. Now, for me, the add is probably at value area low. Like this is probably my add, but we'll see. We'll see how fast it wants to move down there. And this is like, again, the major difference between this and that NASDAQ trade. Like, I got to pee pretty bad. I would never consider being in a NASDAQ trade and just going and peeing. But this, let's do it. Not only that, I will rest an order here. About halfway in.
Order submitted.
And we're going to go pee. I'll be back. 2 seconds. Did I go bankrupt? Nope. Did not. Because I'm long, I have to kind of take these off. And my props. I can never keep track of like what props are allowing you to be in longs and shorts in different markets. Let's go. Do you get the same price? What price are you in at? Let's make some money together. $560. Oh, nice. Got a better price than me. You bottom ticked it. Love that. And your ability to add will really be up to you. And what your tolerance for risk is. Still 10 minutes left on this candle, too. I'm just going to move it to low a day for me. That would change if we get through 10 minutes of this candle and it's still not down there yet, but if we're going to have a melt candle, I'll give it as much drawdown as I can. Just want to make sure that I don't have any resting orders. That could really get me in trouble. Nope. Nasdaq trade would have got us done. I'm not going to lose money on this trade, so we're going to do this.
Order submitted.
Then if it came back down, we could always come back down and re-enter. But we don't have to give too much back.
Order
Yep,
filled.
I'm out. Girk, maybe you can hold a little bit longer and show us how it's done.
Order canceled.
But with things looking heavy on red candles, it's just hard for me to hold. If this is a green candle, right, once again, a little bit more fluency in the situation. If it was a green candle, I'm holding, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get a bounce. But now what, like I said, what that allows me to do is I can re-enter and have essentially the same exact position, but have already locked in $24. But hopefully Girk's still in. I'm going to take it all the way to VWAP and then flex. Go Dow. Pay the man or the woman. Pay the person. All I got is names. I keep a picture of myself on my desk here. The reason I keep that there is to remind me that, like, life is fun and simple. Just chills right here. Whenever I take things too seriously. Oh, right on. Thank you. Thank you. Well, pay the man. Are you still in? Do we want to go back in? Do we want to go back in? We kind of do. Let's do this one. Let's give it a little more room here. I think I'm trying to get out of here at 10:30. Go for a run. So I think I'm going to stream again this afternoon, though. We'll stream FOMC. But the Tradeify accounts, which I said before, somebody got in. Who got in with me? Somebody used my code yesterday. The Tradeify accounts are now over $600 in profit. So almost halfway there. Maybe we'll be halfway there by the end of the week. And thank you for being in the Discord. I appreciate it. Small but very informational Discord. I could tell you back in the GameStop AMC, that whole time, the Discord had, I want to say, close to 5,000 people in it, and it was just a mess. And then I kicked everybody out and just restarted it, and it's been the best thing. Like, granted, it was cool, like, saying I had such a huge Discord. It was definitely much better for brands, but it was just, it felt like Wall Street Bets in there, and I guess that was just the time. But I love having just like 100 people or so in there and 15 people I talk. The option side of the Discord is definitely way busier than the futures, obviously, because that's what I've been doing since 2017. Flex on my own book. But the future side of it's definitely going to grow over time and just be a lot more healthy. Nazzy wants to be strong again. Me and Rod trade options completely differently. So when it comes to futures and treasuries, I will give him all the credit he deserves. He can be extremely condescending, and he frankly doesn't trade the way he tells people to trade. But the way he tells people to trade, it works. Right? You know, he's kind of like the Dave Ramsey of finance, where he says something to the masses, but then does something completely different, most likely in his personal life. But when it comes to options, him and we just trade options the same way. He's probably equally as good at trading options. He obviously doesn't put as much information onto the internet with options, but I just sell puts. I sell daily puts on SPX, and I tried to make it a little bit more relatable to the community on the other YouTube channel by doing it with the SPY and things like that. And I know that he uses prior session highs, lows, the 30-minute chart to sell puts and buy longs and buy puts. Me and him, we bought puts on the Qs a while ago, and we both had a great trade with that at all-time highs. But I personally don't really buy options. I buy leaps options to the long side. I very rarely buy longs on the put side. But my strategy, I have a system where I choose how I choose my strike price, and I wake up. The first thing that I do is I just have my orders resting for SPX, and then I generally will check it around noon or 1 o'clock, and we close a roll, and that's it. But yeah, no, him and we just have completely different strategies when it comes to trading options. I'm more of an options seller, where I think he's more of an options buyer. I pretty much am very cash liquid as far as what I'm using to trade and invest with. So where he probably has capital sprayed everywhere, I pretty much have my Interactive Brokers account where I just sell options, and then 90% of the day, 90% of the time at the end of the day, I am flat. I'm cash. So my buy and hold stuff is in like my retirement accounts, my 401k1s and 403bs and solo 401ks, things like that. That's all just SPX. I mean, not SPX. That's just all like VOO and the S&P 500 index funds. But as far as like trading is concerned, I'm flat at the end of most days unless I need to roll. It's 10:30, and we'll give this 2 or 3 minutes to hit target and see if we can get one more. If not, I'm going to be done for the day until I find FOMC. I got to run in. Yeah, if we break above this EMA, I'm going to be done for the morning session. Also, too, not a lot of volume distribution here. It's kind of just straight down, so not really giving me any real levels of take profit or even entries. even value area low is not really out of node either.
Order canceled. Order canceled.
Just taking everything else off. I will hit flatten when I leave here, but I have nothing else sitting around. When I go run, these orders will stay here. This, while I run, this order will be put here, and this order will stay here, and I will be able to take that heat if I need to. Not here to here. That's a lot. I'd probably put a stop in, but if I was going to be around the house, yeah, once we get above here, I'm going to be done. So just there's your sells are really prior session. Your shorts are prior session, and that's where you could be resting orders. If you're around the house, you don't want to stare at your screens, that's where you'd be. Is he talking today? I mean, he could talk whenever he wants, but there we go. New cash session low. There we go. See if we can get in again. One more trade. I feel like at this point his tweets can only do bad things. Like, aren't we assuming it's over? Like, I think I think that's what last night was. Like, it's not over. We're still at war. How much is this? This is $10 difference. So here's where that zone of like, I kind of want to get in, but yeah, crude's gone. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't see. I mean, obviously, crude acts indirectly with all the indices, but out of all of them, I feel like it affects the Dow the least. All right, one more trade. Let's play again. Now we manage risk accordingly. I will not be going red to green to red today, so we're going to be very, very cautious with this.
Order submitted.
Very cautious.
Order filled.
Yep. Super cautious. Little scalp. Little scalp. If I'm being 100 with you, I didn't really want to be in that trade. It's not that I didn't want to be in that trade. I didn't want to sit through it at this time of day. So 32 bucks on the morning. I am going to trade FOMC later. If my kids aren't around, they're at an activity or something, I will stream again later. Just look for a link. I'll post it in the Discord if I'm going to hop in. But yeah, 32 bucks across all the accounts. It's kind of a standard day for me these days. If we look, let's see if we can update it quick for executions. Yep. So not bad. Slowly climbing the live account out. And then on the Tradeify, this doesn't update as quickly, but I mean, 32 bucks is kind of low for the month, but only one red day since we opened these accounts on the 10th. So we'll see. Always a little bit more time for the rest of the day. Good thing I got out. Like I said, definitely didn't want to see this. I would have put at least a break-even stop. I wasn't prepared to go green to red today, especially with the way the market's been trading. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for asking the questions. Help definitely makes things easier. Like I said, I'll let you know in the Discord, or if you're not in the Discord, just keep an eye on the channel. We'll see what happens, and maybe I'll see you later on. If not, I will definitely post about tomorrow. We'll see you again at some point this week. All right? Take it easy.